we?
In the ceremonial enclosure,
Uh-huh.
eastern enclosure as it is elaborated in most of the books, because it's on the eastern side of the hill, where the ritual ceremonies were conducted. And up here, people would sit in hierarchies according to their ranks. We have the king sitting on top of that stretching boulder, then immediate members to the king on the terraces, invited guests on the bench.
Okay.
Right. It is from this enclosure where 6 soapstone carvings of Zimbabwe birds were found. Zimbabwe bird, which is believed to be either an African fish eagle or the Butler eagle. Religiously, these birds were used as divine messengers, carrying spiritual messages from Shona people to God, interceding the earth and the heaven. Right? Literally, they were referred to as needles that would stitch the earth and the heaven. Okay. On the Zimbabwe bird, the one that we have on the flag of Zimbabwe, does have its striking features. Then the question is, why was it chosen as a national emblem? Why do we have the bird as our symbol of the nation, which presides on coat of arms and on the flag of Zimbabwe? Why? Do you have an idea why?
Because it's from Zimbabwe.
Yes, from Zimbabwe. We have so many things from Zimbabwe, and of all the things, beautiful
But
things.
this
That,
is Zimbabwe.
Because it can soar high above.
Because it can communicate.
yes, why? Well, in Zimbabwe, an item to be chosen as a national emblem, it has to represent the whole nation. All right? And why was this bird chosen as a national emblem?
Because it's found all over Zimbabwe.
Well, these sculptures we found here across Zimbabwe, not everywhere in Zimbabwe. It's interesting, gentlemen, lady. Let me just try to elucidate on the bird itself. This drawing here, like if you're going to see the bird, the real bird, it's like a bird sitting on a pedal with overhanging limbs. And that represents leaders, kings. Remember, we're talking patriarchal society. Mm-hmm. And kings always preside atop. In every community, every nation, we need to have leaders. And leaders always preside atop. Then to have continuity of generations, we need to have women. Therefore, this pattern here,
Fertility.
the symbol of fertility. The ability to conceive in our culture is regarded as a snake. And literally, our mothers back at home, they say, my snake is continuously giving me boys. You'll be giving birth to boys one after the other. In Shona, we say, nyoka yangu, my snake. And trademark of the Shona people, our grandmothers, we have never been to school. After making a beautiful pot, they put this decoration. Then these circles, they support the same system of fertility. They represent phallic objects, male organs. For fertility to occur, we have to consider both male and female. Then in front of this sculpture, there is a crocodile motif. A crouching crocodile in front, like that. It's a sculpture of this height with a crocodile motif. The crocodile in our culture symbolizes the ancestral spirit, the ancestral world. As we believe that the ancestral spirits live in deep waters, so as a crocodile. So we say, without God or the ancestral world, we cannot survive. Remember the Shona people were believing in God called Mari, the might God all of us know. But this was done through the spirits of ancestors. Right? So if you take this whole figure right, you will be in a position to interpret the history of the nation. Despite language variations, geographical locations, we all found one thing. We need to have leaders. To have continuity of generations, we need to have women. And above all, without the spirits of ancestors, we cannot survive, and therefore the crocodile. This is the reason why it was chosen as a national emblem, because it's a unifying factor. Are we there, good people?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You were just saying that the crocodile lives in land and water.
It's a mass of the land and water
Right.
that represents the ancestral world.
Right, but if it's coming, I mean, I can see it as a messenger as well as the bird.
The bird is the messenger.
Because of the gods.
Yes,
to the
which
gods.
intercede the the earth and the heaven, joining the land and water is down here.
Right.
where
Well,
we
the
have
crocodile seems to do that as well because it
Ancestral.
comes from the ancestor to the world.
to communicate with God. We have ancestors on land. We people, we believe in life after death. If an elderly figure in your family dies,
Hey.
you'll be a representative for you, right? And that person is living on the land. Now, to have a connection with the ancestral world, he has to have someone to intercede.
Sure.
And that is the bird, which comes and joins the earth and the heaven. You understand?
Yeah.
The
whole
spirits
thing is,
live down on the land, where we have a crocodile is the master of the land and water.
Right.
Then the bird flies high to communicate, to intercede with the ancestral world.
I get it.
You get the connection? Right.
It's a great symbol.
It is a great symbol, but you need, if you just may look at it, why was it chosen as a national emblem? You cannot get that answer. It's most of Zimbabweans always chorus on streets to say, that's our national emblem, speaking our Shona like that. But without such an explanation, you wouldn't get to realize how important it is. And the reason why it was chosen as anthropologists, archaeologists, scientists, and traditional leaders put their heads together to come up with this bird as a national emblem because of its significance in the society, as a community. Despite our origins, our whatever, we all found one thing. This explanation really put people together. You
Okay.
need to have leaders. You need to have women. Above all, you need to have God.
I think the leaders, though, need to be down at the same level as the people,
Leaders always preside at top.
not in the UK.
And in Africa, most leaders are spiritual leaders. So you're above the hierarchy.
Desmond Tutu, people like that, they're the spiritual leaders.
You know that. Yes, in Africa it's a very common phenomenon.
Yeah.
But now in a literal sense, we all say leaders always at top.
So, let me just make sure I have this straight. It's not the national symbol because they were found here at
Not,
Great Zimbabwe.
not that
Because
simple
this is actually
for the whole nation.
okay, and it's also not a representation of what was found here.
Not only that. Because the
Because
people...
nothing was ever found out of the 5 that are here in the museum,
Only
and out of
one.
the ones that are around the world. One had a bird with the snakes, with the male symbol, and the crocodile.
Yes.
And then other ones were different.
Are different, quite different. They are not like this one.
Okay, got it.
The only one with all these symbols, it was the one which was adopted as a national emblem.
And where is that one?
We have it at our museum.
We'll see it later today.
You're going to see this later.